Holy fuck. Holy shit. Oh, bro. Yellows. Two of them. We're in a P7.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another Gran Turismo race recap video. Guys, today we're taking a look at the second round of this Manufacturers Cup. The first round that we're actually racing, and we missed the very first round of this one, and then we missed the very last round of the Nations Cup too. I apologize, guys, for my erratic schedule, but here we are in this Manufacturers Cup, finally going Lexus too. We've been wanting to go Lexus for the past couple of these cups, but it seems like we always end up caving and going with a Metacar, but we finally did it this time in our cool Crayola Racing Team livery. I really dig this livery too. It makes me feel like I'm back in elementary school. And guys, this is also the very first race that we're using our brand new direct drive Logitech G Pro wheel and pedals, so had a little bit of getting used to, but guys, she's a complete beast, lots of power in her. And guys, if you have any settings or recommendations for that wheel for GT7, please let me know. Still trying to sort it all out and figure it all out, but other than that, super fun to use it. And we're going to jump aboard the hood cam right away, as we're going to have a pretty big incident here on the first lap, as Nico in P1 is going to get completely dive bombed by Vargas. It wasn't intentional, just missed his braking point. You guys know how it is on the first lap of the race, but causing a lot of chaos there already at the beginning of the race, and us actually almost losing the car there too, and instantly losing about 3 positions. But it is okay, because we're going to take a look at what happened to us in our first race right here.
Oh, fuck. Terrible. We're gonna get a penalty for sure, yep. Not good.
And so goal number 1 was to survive the first lap in this race. So we're cool with losing a couple positions. Goal number 2 was to not kiss the wall. We ended up hitting the wall a bunch of times in the first race, as again, we're coming into this hairpin where we had the incident in our last race. And again, lots of people kind of trying to sort themselves out still. Everybody's surviving for the most part, but again, we lose another position to Maverick. But it is okay, guys. We have 15 laps around Tokyo Expressway here. We don't really get these road tracks all too often, it seems, so it's always really exciting when we do get them. Only soft tires we needed. There's one mandatory pit stop, as Punisher kind of going into the wall again. Like I said, hitting the wall was going to be a really common theme in this race. A lot of people doing it. We did it in the first race a lot. Again, Punisher kind of all over the track. We're going to keep an eye on him, because we're going to have a couple incidents with him later in the race, as we're kind of figuring out which way we want to go. We're going to try to go around the outside of Rob here, which doesn't really set us up very good for this next corner, and we end up going into the back of Punisher a little bit, ending up with some front bumper damage. You can see Nico behind us flashing the lights. That was the pole sitter, the dude that started the race in P1, and unfortunately now he's stuck behind us in P12, and we have bumper damage as we are approaching this double right-hander by the cranes. Again, lots of people having problems here. This is going to be a big incident that happens, and we kind of have a parting of the Red Sea moment here, as when we looked back at this replay, believe it or not, we did not make contact with any of those cars. We made it out completely 100% clean, didn't touch a single person, and instantly gaining 4 positions there. I was kind of losing my mind. That was a really big, crazy incident there on the second lap, but we were able to take advantage of it and make it through there. Again, on the very next lap, seemed to be a part of the track where a lot of people were having problems. Over here now, it was our turn to have the problem, as we just come in a little janky, a little slow, and losing a position to Maverick once again. It was clear already that Maverick was much quicker than me, so I did not have a problem with him being in front of me. Now I have a little bit of a bump draft and drafting partner again on the next lap. Again, everyone having really big major incidents here, as we have a little bit of a pile up, which again was very beneficial for me, because over the course of the last lap, this group of cars was sort of breaking away from me a little bit, as we're able to make the pass on Punisher. And with nowhere really to go, we give Chow the bump draft and kind of settle back into this line in a P8 again, approaching this straight. And we're going to try to make the pass on Chow. I felt like I was quicker than him, but he kind of does a weird little blocking move there. To me, it seemed like he really did not want to be overtaken in this race. Seemed like he couldn't handle it. There's a couple people this race that seemed like they could not handle being overtaken. So I felt like he kind of chopped us off a little bit there, but he is about to be served up the ultimate dish of karma in a second as he completely and utterly outbrakes himself and ends up in the wall. That's actually the pit entrance right there. Normally the pit entrance is more towards the start-finish line, but there it is kind of in the middle of the lap as we gain a position but then lose one more to Punisher. But it is okay. Again, as long as we have someone to kind of work with, it is a no big deal. And we kind of got stuck behind Punisher for a couple laps, not really able to gain any ground to Maverick and not really able to do much bump drafting either. So I finally decided to make the executive decision to make the pass on Punisher. I figured, you know, now it was my turn to kind of be in front. Maybe I would be a little bit quicker through the corners, and maybe Punisher in the BMW would be able to bump draft me on the straights was kind of my plan here. But as we approach this straight, you guys are going to see what it looked like to me, at least. It really looked like Punisher did not want to do any bump drafting. It seemed like every time he got kind of right up onto our bumper, kind of right here, you'll see a couple times right there as well, kind of just pulls out of the way. Seems like he doesn't really want to give us the bump draft. And now we're approaching some pretty high speeds coming up to this dangerous hairpin. Again, lots of people having big problems here, lots of incidents happening. And unfortunately for us, Punisher is just going to run straight into the back of us. When I looked at the replay, it looked like he just completely let off the brakes and borderline pushing us into the pits. And now that I think about it, I think I should have just went into the pits right there. I don't think I would have gotten the penalty for cutting the pit line had I been launched into the pits by somebody else, but I decided to kind of play it safe, you know, rather than risk that penalty. I stayed out with a little bit of rear bumper damage now, and somehow Punisher completely avoided any penalties from that incident, which I felt like that was way more egregious than what we did in our previous race. But again, somehow Punisher completely coming out with nothing at all. And coming out of the pits at lap 8, now we have switched our tires. We do have the fresh racing softs on, as we're going to lose one spot to Mr. David Cherry Garcia here, flying in that NSX. However, we do have a slipstream buddy now, someone to work with here as we are starting the second half of our races. Mr. Cherry Garcia is flying all over the track, kind of bumping into the wall a little bit. Again, very fortunate for us, as it does seem that he is really, really quick. And all those mistakes are going to make it easier for us to stay with him in the slipstream throughout this lap. And now we have Punisher not too far ahead. I told you guys earlier in the race, let's keep an eye on Punisher, as we were going to get caught up in a couple incidents with him. And it would not be us that would be the only ones that would get caught up in his nonsense. Actually, Mr. Poor David Cherry Garcia here on this dangerous hairpin. You can see everyone's trying to sort themselves out here at this heavy braking zone. And take a look at this little incident. Punisher's just going to turn right into David Garcia, and the car's going to get unsettled, and Mr. Garcia is going to go into the wall there. We didn't bump into him. He was ghosted when we drove through him. But Punisher, again, getting away with another cheeky, dare I say, even dirty move. I don't understand how he keeps doing that with no penalty. And I actually had a reaction to that incident. I don't know if you could tell by my driving. I really started to get a little more aggressive. I wanted to make the pass on him cleanly. But he's actually going to do the heavy lifting for us. He's going to make the decision to pull off to the side. I don't know if he had a change of heart, if he realized how bad he had been being, but he is going to pull off to the side, and actually he's going to decide to just leave the race with about 4 laps left. And we were actually looking in our rear view mirror, getting a little distracted by what he was doing, and we were going to hit the wall. Again, losing all of that momentum that we had just gained. And I couldn't tell you how many times we did that throughout the night in both of our races. We're going to skip ahead here. 1 lap at this crane double right-hander here. Again, Chow kind of giving me a little bit of a dive bomb there. Definitely an aggressive move. I'm not sure if he would have made that corner had he not used us as some guardrails. But keep in mind now, Chow was the driver that drove into the barrier head-on right outside of the pit lane earlier in the race. So obviously, this dude is pretty fast. He was able to catch up to us again, hitting the wall right before the straight. and just losing all that momentum, we're gonna allow Harry Balls to have a good shot at overtaking us on the straight. Now I'll tell you guys, you have not lived, you haven't raced until you've had a set of Harry Balls right next to you. I'll tell you, the scent is amazing. But yeah, coming up to this dangerous hairpin once again. I've raced with Balls before. He's a pretty good driver, so I was pretty confident we were both gonna make it out of this one all right. Been watching people crash here all day, kind of trying to just keep myself in the mirror. Wasn't really trying to make any move, having a little bit of a slide there, as well as Punisher. And we're actually gonna be in a similar position here on the very next lap, kind of getting stuck behind Chow. I didn't want to give him the bump draft because I didn't really think he deserved it after what he had done to us, but it was just kind of where we were at. And now I'm pretty sure I left Harry Balls plenty of room there. It looks like there's plenty of room on the curb, but we do end up making a tiny bit of contact. But I do decide to just keep going. Like I said, I felt like I had left them plenty of room. I'm not really sure what ended up happening there, but it's all good, no big deal, just a little bit of contact as we were approaching the final lap now in a P9. And guys, we're gonna get so lucky as there is some incident between two cars up ahead. You can see the yellow flags coming right before the start finish, and we got one Lambo facing the wrong way, another BMW spun out. Something obviously happened there between those two guys, and then easy two positions to start off the final lap of this race in a P7 now. Very hard fought P7, actually exactly where we started the race. This one was pretty nuts. And on this final lap, guys, we did do everything that we possibly could to try to catch up to Chow, but there was just not much we could do. He was definitely quicker than us. We did our very best, and we would eventually end this race in a P7. Definitely a hard-fought P7, and not a terrible way to start our Manufacturers Cup off with the new wheel and in a car that we don't drive too often. But I just wanted to say thank you guys for being there during the race, and thank you guys too if you checked out this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will be back hopefully for the next one. I think we're at Autopolis on Wednesday. And yeah, I hope to see you guys there. And until then, I hope you all have some great races. Be safe out there. I will see you next time. Kiss, kiss, kiss. I love you all. Stoosman out.